Hey everyone, Taku here and I hope you're doing well. No, you don't need to adjust your TV or monitor. I am zoomed up really closely and there's a reason for that. Recently I did a photo shoot where I was standing behind a colored backdrop, multiple colored backdrops actually, and I was properly exposed in front of it as I changed the color of my background. Now, I had many people ask me about how I managed to do that while I was standing still and changing the color of the background. So in this video, I hope to show you exactly what I did so maybe you can do it at home too. So let's get to it. In order to achieve this, I will zoom out so you can see exactly what my lighting setup is. So now you can see that behind me against the wall, I have two of the Nanlite PavoSlim 240CLs, one on either side. And that's actually what's controlling the color of the background that you're seeing. Now in front of me, directly in front of me actually to my left hand side, I have a Nanlite FC120B with a softbox and grid, and that's what's giving me the key light. That is what's actually exposing me, and you're seeing me right here. Now the key point of takeaway here is the distance between myself and the light in front of me and the distance between myself and the light behind me. I have to make sure that the two do not interfere with each other, so I need to be a certain amount of distance away. So if you take my case for example, the background is roughly I'm gonna say about 7-8 feet away from me. So the wall behind me is about 7 feet away from me, and so are the lights that are shining towards the wall. The light in front of me is actually only about 3 feet away from me, and that is shining a 5600 Kelvin temperature light towards my face. With the grid, it's focused beam towards my face and not scattered anywhere else, so I'm making sure that the light in front of me doesn't affect the color of the background behind me. Vice versa, I'm making sure that I'm far away enough from the light behind me that the colored lights do not reflect on to myself at all. In the photos that I took, you might actually see a little bit of colored reflection on the side of my face here or on my shoulders here. That's fine. I'm not too worried about that. If I was a little bit more worried about that, I could have easily had a negative fill or flag somewhere on the side of me so that the colors bouncing around in the room will not reflect directly onto me. So that could have been easily taken care of. I did not, however, have any flags at my disposal at that moment, so I just went away with it and left it at that. So the concept is really simple. You just have to make sure that the distance between yourself and the lights behind me and in front of you are far enough so that the lights do not affect each other in terms of the color quality. Now, to demonstrate the fact that the lights do not interact with each other or interfere with each other, I have here the Nanlink app on my iPhone, and this is what I'm actually using to change the background color that you see there. So all I need to do is pick a color on the color wheel and the background will change accordingly. Now hopefully you'll see that my face is properly exposed and it's not actually being changed or influenced by the color behind me. Right now it's green, right now it's purple. How about yellow or even red? You'll see that as the background changes, my face is properly exposed and it doesn't get affected at all. And that's essentially the idea behind this video and the portrait session that I did in front of the colored background. I'm just making sure that the front light does not affect the back and the back light does not affect the front. Easy peasy, something like that. Now you may have noticed that I'm using two of the Nanlite PavoSlim 240CLs, and I'm controlling both of them with the Nanlink app. As I change the color on the app itself, both of them are synced together so that they change simultaneously. How did I do that? Well, that's a great question. that is actually done all within the Nanlink app itself, and I will show you how to do that right now. Alright, so now let's get into the app itself right here. Now, when we open an app, we are able to add in new devices. So first we'll create a scene. I created the scene. I just made a Profusion 2024 because that's what I was using beforehand, and I had individually added my PavoSlim 240 CLs. Now all I needed to do was go into the right menu here, go into new fixture group, and once I press that, I can actually name the group into whatever I want. Here we go. And as I create it, I will be able to add in any individual lights that I have in my scene. So once I select that, I press done, and there we go. Now I have the Nanlink 240 CLs grouped into one group. Now you can see here under this it says fixtures 2, so that means if I click on here, I will have all my color settings here, which will affect all of the lights within that one group. So now that I have my 240 CLs into one group on my Nanlink app, as soon as I've changed the color within that group, it will simultaneously change the background color all at once. And that's really convenient because then I don't have to go into individual device and then change the colors accordingly. So you can have as many devices as you want inside one group. There might be a limit or a maximum number of devices. I'm not actually sure on the number of that, but for now I have my 2 of them. I could have easily added another one, let's say my Forza 60C as well. I could have added anything like a Pavo tube, which is also color capable, and then once I change the colors on that, then all the lights within that group will change ever so conveniently. Something else to note is that I did not put a grid on the 240 CLs because I didn't feel that it was necessary. The light itself, it is bouncing around in the room, but again, I made sure that I was far enough away from the light that it wasn't actually affecting the front of my face. So I did not really need the grid, and the grid would actually lessen the color going onto the wall itself, so I didn't want to actually use that. So they are bare with the softbox on there, and I believe it is actually a 1.5 stop diffuser on the softbox on either of the softboxes there. Now as for the power output, it's actually at 5%. Each one is at 5% lighting the background color, and you can see how that is enough sufficient light to cover the background, especially when we zoom in where my face is, then you can see that it's one solid color on the background. So let's zoom back out of the so you can see the entire screen again. And the settings on my key light is your standard. I'm actually at 30% on my FC120B, along with a one-stop diffuser on my softbox and the grid along with that. Now let's change the color for just 1 second again. There we go, nice and blue. Now for those of you who don't have Nanlite's 240 CLs or anything near there, don't fret, because you can easily do this with something else. All you need is a light that's powerful enough to light the background in any way you want. Right now I have it as a solid color. If you don't have 2 of them, you can easily just use one to have a gradient, or if you still wanted a solid color, then all you needed to do was actually zoom in a little bit closer to me so that you're covering less of a real estate on the back wall. So that means you won't have to have such a powerful light in order to be able to cover the entire back wall. So anything, whether you have a panel light or a mono light, doesn't really matter what light you use. as long as you are able to cover enough of the real estate that you're filming on the back wall. So the more you zoom in, the more of a telephoto lens you use, the less of the back wall that you need to light. So that's how you would change things up a little bit. Now, as you may have guessed, you will need a little bit of space in order to do this. Like I said, I am about 7 feet away from the wall there. The camera itself is actually about 4 feet away from me, and the light here is about 3 feet away from me. So you do need a little bit of space. I am maximizing this space, this really small space that I have in my room here, but it's working to my needs, and that's essentially what you have to have in order to achieve something similar like this. I will note that the PavoSlims or the panel lighting is probably a little bit more convenient for this case because of the real estate that it provides you with a larger surface area of light relative to a monolight. So if you are using a monolight, then you would probably want to have a softbox of some sort on it so that it spreads the light a little bit more evenly onto the background. I have seen similar effects like this done with Pavo tubes, those tube lights, one on either side. You can flash them. You'll probably need to use about 100% of that power and then have it relatively close to either side of you so that it actually covers the entire width of the background. So Pavo tube works really well as well because of the long nature of the light itself, and panel lights obviously I think are more ideal in this circumstance, but you can also use a monolight with a softbox as well. Alright, so that's pretty much all I did with this photo shoot. I hope you enjoyed it or learned something new, or better yet, maybe I've inspired you to do something else with a colored background as well. Do let me know in the comments, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below as well. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.